with the numbers and money written out in words. The players who failed to form groups were immediately disqualified. Ji-hoon asked the elderly woman where her son was. Although she lied to cover up, they still realized that her son had abandoned her. However, when the leader exposed her, she loudly defended her son, claiming he was not that kind of person. The number of players decreased from 255 to only 141. Everyone left the room and gathered with their teams. Player 120 was in a critical situation. But luckily, the father of the girl in the hat, player 246, joined their group, and they safely made it through. Although she had been abandoned by her son, as long as she saw him alive standing before her, the elderly woman did not dare to wish for more. The others silently watched the mother and son, but said nothing. The fourth round began, and this time the group consisted of 6 people. Ji-hoon quickly formed a group with the women first, while he and 3 other men went to find 2 more people. Sailor 388 led them into a room that was already occupied. Player 120 found an empty room and called them over. But on the way there, the girl, player 095, was pushed and fell. In the last 2 seconds, YouTuber 333 suddenly ran over and slammed the door shut. The girl, player 095, trembling, called out to player 120, and then she was shot dead. Player 120 blamed YouTuber 333 because of him. The girl had to die, but no one could deny that if he hadn't appeared in time, everyone in the room would have been eliminated due to the insufficient number of people. 126 players would start the final round. The leader guessed that this time it would be number 2. There were 50 rooms, and even if there were 2 people in each room, the maximum number of people would be 100. It was certain that 26 people would be eliminated. The music stopped, and the announcement came that it was number 2. The issue now was no longer about finding teammates, but about finding a room and securing it. They began to fight against each other to survive. Yoonbi went with the leader, but halfway, he was pushed and fell. The leader held one person back to reserve a room for both of them. However, there was still someone else inside, with only about 10 seconds left. Seeing that the person wouldn't leave, the leader was forced to take action. On the way back to the common room, Ji-hoon whispered to the leader that they would count how many people chose to continue and go back, from which they could predict which side had a better chance of winning. In this round of voting, after returning, the players began to pull others to vote according to their wishes. YouTuber 333 thought that after leaving here, he would start over with his girlfriend. They would have children and begin a new life. According to his calculations, each person would receive about 300 to 400 million. It seemed that many people wanted to give up, and they might win this round of voting. After leaving, the money of the 2 of them would be used to pay off urgent debts, and the remaining money would be used for stock investments. Upon hearing this, the girl, player 222, understood the situation. He needed her money, not her or her child. And he was quite clever. Yoonbi found out that 55 people would vote to continue, making a total of 56, including him. Therefore, the side choosing to leave had only 44 people, a difference of 12 people. However, if 7 people from the other side changed their minds, they would win. Yoonbi changed his mind and chose to leave. Now, they only needed 6 more people to complete the vote. Ji-hoon wanted to persuade them, but the leader stopped him, explaining that such an action would be extremely risky, as it could provoke a fight before the vote even began. Meanwhile, after eliminating the islands that had been found, Junho's group began releasing drones to survey the suspicious islands. On the cliffside, Junho noticed something that looked like a door, but due to the dense vegetation, they couldn't fly any closer. They could only go there themselves. The result of the third game was announced. Each player would receive 356 million. This amount was large enough to entice some people. The next vote began with the order from the bottom up, to ensure a fair vote. From now on, any disruptive behavior would be prohibited. Yoonbi chose to leave, and the girl numbered 380 also chose to leave. Now, they only needed 5 more people to change their minds for the leave side to win. When one more person changed their mind, it was Minsu's turn. Although the rapper numbered 230 had previously tried to convince him to continue, Minsu decided to leave. Only 3 more people were needed, and the leave side would win. Player numbered 120 spoke up, declaring that the third game would stop, and she had carried it out. Junho led a small group to the island to investigate. After walking for a while, they reached the door, but as soon as they opened it, it exploded. The vote was nearing its end, and player numbered 015 changed their mind, leaving just one person to decide. Player 007 dared not look at his mother and walked straight to the voting booth, and he did not disappoint her. The last 2 players were both on their side, and the victory seemed assured. At this point, Yoonbi felt that the leader's authoritative face was terrifying. He intended to tell Ji-hoon about what had happened earlier, but his speech was interrupted by cheers. Player numbered 006 followed the wizard's advice and switched sides. Yoonbi couldn't shake the uneasy feeling he had about the leader. However, the leader chose to leave, and the result was a tie between the 2 sides.